Hi everyone, welcome back to Curriculum Mapping with G Suite. This is part 2 in a mini-series on building the Tech Tool Inventory add-on for your own domain. In the last video, we covered creating the form, which consists of a placeholder question for the document ID, and then a list of tech tools as a checkbox question, which is generated using the Form Ranger add-on, pulling from a tech tool library. So please feel free to rewatch that video to kind of refresh your mind of where we left off. Also, keep in mind that all of these files are available to you at any given time to make copies on the demo site. So there is a link to this demo site in the Curriculum Mapping Google Plus community, and the files we're working on in this video are the tech tool form and the tech tool form responses sheet. I also explained in that first video that when a form is submitted, these tech tools are passed on to the metadata of the unit planner. So, well, what does that mean? Well, the metadata is actually listed under the information of any Google Doc. So for example, the metadata of Rethinking Fairy Tales is, here we see the tech tool Google Docs. If I go up to Poesia, Google Sheets explain everything. So the end goal here is to submit a form and then have it auto-populate this piece of the data. And then each night when the unit planners relist themselves, the metadata is automatically picked up. So that's kind of where we left things off, and I promised to get into some of the app script associated with this project. So I'm going to go straight away to the form response sheet, and the first thing we're going to establish is this edit response URL. Now what this allows you to do is come back to the same form and change your responses. So as you add or change the tools you use in a given unit, this allows you to just update the form on your own via the Tech Tool Inventory add-on. So in the app script that's associated with this response sheet, so if I were just to close this, I open the response sheet and go into the script editor, it brings me here, and notice that the first variable here is your ID of the form. And again, this is the ID of the form in edit mode. So here I have the form open in edit mode, and you can see that my ID is this part of the URL. And notice how it ends in JQA, so I can just confirm that in my script that yes, this is indeed the ID of my form. I also want to be sure I have the proper sheet name, so this is form responses 1, and here I have form responses 1. And then the last thing that you would need to modify in this particular script is just the destination of that URL. So, and that is this URL column. And column 5 is column E. So this is where all of the URLs will be placed when it runs. So I'm just going to actually go ahead and just delete these. And I'm going to run the script. And we can see it has populated the edit URL. And in a moment we're going to talk about script triggers, which will allow this to run every time a new form is submitted. But before that, the other script that we want to talk about is this idea of set description. So I'm calling the set description because that's actually the kind of the function that allows you to write data to the metadata of a Google Doc. So again, this is simply identifying the sheet that contains the data, and then we are figuring out what the last row of data is minus 1. This is helping us create the range of data we're going to look at. And then we are basically identifying the document associated. So this data here is will be the doc ID, and then the tech tools are here. And what we're asking the script to do is for every file, every listed file in there, it will attribute the tech tool to the corresponding file. So it's a little hard to explain, but that's essentially what it's doing. So all of this corresponds to the metadata in the unit planners. Now, just a short while ago, I had mentioned something regarding the triggers behind this function. So I'm going to actually get to open these up. And we'll notice there are actually 3 triggers. You'll notice there's 2 triggers for the set description, and I'm going to explain why it's important to have that. So I'm going to work my way from the bottom to the top. So this set description is basically set to populate the metadata each time a new form is submitted. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Same goes for the edit URL. So each time a new form is submitted, the edit URL will be generated. But then I've also added this set description, a time-driven trigger, and this is every hour. So the reason this exists is because in order for the metadata to pick up any updates, the editing your URL does not constitute a new form submission. Therefore, it would not trigger the set description to run. So this is basically forcing the set description function to run essentially every hour. So that's why that's needed, to keep the metadata as up to date as needed. So that's all we're going to cover today in this video. So again, we are making progress to deploying a functional add-on in your own domain, but we're going to take it step by step because there are several moving pieces. But thanks for watching. Bye.